Let's talk about fabrics. Okay, so I'm Tania Sutherland, and I am all about showing you how to find your true authentic style when you are sewing and designing your own clothes for yourself, or for those that are turning it into a business that actually want to design and create their own collection. So if that is what you want to do, then you're on the right platform today. And it's all about your style and helping your clients as well as yourself to find the style. So today I want to talk about fabric. So my previous video I did was to show you how I've taken some basic trousers and just by changing the different fabrics, doing a few little tweaks in the styles and adding a few little more details, the looks were so different once I created that perfect block, knowing that the pattern fitted me correctly through trial and error. If you are using commercial patterns, you need to obviously make them up, pin them, go back to the sewing machine and, take it in or let it out, then go to your pattern and correct your pattern, make notes on the pattern, so in future use your pattern is a perfect fit. Also, make notes about what type of fabrics that you've used. Is the fabric got a little bit of a stretch? Is it non-stretch? How thick it is? All those sort of, different comments about the fabric. And if you know the composition of the fabrics, put as much detail down so that you know what fabrics worked very well and without adjusting the pattern, what fabrics you used where you actually had to adjust the pattern. Now, when I was designing my collections and selling my ranges, I would actually make up a sample, of the garments, of the range that I was doing in my size, and I would wear it all day. And then I could immediately pick up, has it lost its shape? Did it stretch too much? Has it got not enough stretch? Have I chosen the wrong fabric? Do I need to alter or change my pattern before I go into production, where I actually grade my patterns to the sizes I'll be selling them into, starting from grading from the basic pattern, knowing the pattern fits correctly. So I'd like to share with you about some of the pants that I made and the different materials that I used and what I had to do. So what I normally do is I make notes of everything that I do, how much material I've used, what type of material, I do my whole tech back. So where the zip's going to be stitched, what type of zip that I've used, the top stitching, all the details, I actually put it down on when I make my first sample. Excuse me. So this one particular trouser is basically just a sort of straight leg, kind of fitted trouser. This is a 4-way stretch. So when I made this, I basically made the pattern one size smaller than what I am, buying jeans or trousers that have got no stretch. So I am between a size 8 and a size 9. It depends, because as you know, the commercial sizing that are in the shops and the pattern sizing are two different things completely. Okay, so this one here, the zip is at the back and it's got the darts. Okay, so it's your 4-way stretch. My stretch is going across the body. So I took this pattern and I made it basically one size smaller to fit me correctly. I took the exactly same pattern and I made it out of this Vogue pattern fabric. Okay, so this fabric has got no stretch at all. It's just a woven fabric, which is almost like a little bit of a canvasy kind of feeling to it. So it is actually quite a strong material. But the thing is, it's got no stretch at all. So if there's any stress done to the seams, you'll actually start seeing the pulling in the fabric and you'll start seeing the stitching, and that is not good to have if you are, making for yourself or whether you are actually making the garments to sell. So what I had to do was I got some material which is a cotton brush spandex, and I put this down the side of the leg to make this fit a lot better and to give it some kind of stretch, so that when I'm driving, when I'm walking around, I'm doing things. I'm quite a busy girl. I'm never stopping. I'm always got so much to do, and running my own business, by teaching, doing the videos, etc. I want to be comfortable. Obviously, I want to look good, and I like more fitted shape clothes. So this, I could feel that the seams were starting to actually pull open from the duress of me just moving around. So I've added that in. So I made a note in my pattern that if I'm going to use a fabric that has got no stretch at all, I'm either going to have to put in a panel, okay, to give me some flexibility using a different type of material. This is a woven and this is a spandex stretch knit, to make the alterations in my pattern, or to go one size bigger, but then I'm going to lose that very fitted shape that I like. So, you know, fabric knowledge does come with experience. It is trial and error, and you'll start quickly, you know, through making mistakes, you will learn what fabrics to avoid and what you should and what you could use. So, a little bit of, let's say, tips I could share with you is, really, if you are using commercial patterns, then follow the suggested fabrics that they are telling you to use, because they've also made the garments up in the fabrics. They know what works. I'll give you another example. So this is a high-waisted fitted trouser where I have put, so there's the darts in the front, darts in the back, and then there is an invisible zip at the back. So this material here is a cotton spandex, okay, so it's got a stretch across and no stretch at the bottom, so it's a two-way stretch. So when I made this, I also cut this one size smaller, and I made it up, and I also to take in on the hips were too curved for me, but the point was that it fitted pretty well. Then I had some scuba, and I thought, let me take the same pattern and make it up in scuba. Now scuba has a tremendous amount of stretch, okay. This is a four-way stretch, so it's got a stretch downwards and it has a stretch across. So it's going across the two grains of the materials, has got a stretch. So when I made these trousers, I wore them for one day and they were literally falling off me. Using the exactly same pattern, I found that they were just stretching out of proportion and out of shape. So I took them off out of frustration, and whenever I make clothes, my clothes have got to fit me correctly, because, you know, I design, I make my own patterns, I use commercial patterns, I'm adjusting the patterns, I'm teaching, so my clothes have got to look good on me, and they've got to fit correctly, because I am showing my students and teaching them how to adjust and adapt their patterns to fit their body proportions and body shapes. So I have to do the same for myself, but I am anal when it comes to my clothing. They've got to fit correctly. That's why I say it's so important to, you know, even if you're buying clothes in the shops, is to alter them to fit you correctly. Don't just take them off the rail and wear them and say it's fine if you know that it doesn't fit you properly in your waist, in the hips, your legs, etc. Knowing your different body proportions and body shape. So this one here was basically made out of the scuba, and I don't know if you can see the difference in the pattern when I put them two together, but let me tell you, in the fit it was, here we go. So still me, I didn't lose weight, didn't pick up weight. You can see the difference in the size of the one being a cotton spandex and this one being a scuba, what I actually had to take in to make it fit me. So your garments and your patterns will definitely change with the types of fabric that you use. Create a fabric file. I've got in my one book, I've just moved the cabinet. In planning your wardrobe, I talk about your different fabrics, how to create a fabric reference file that you can go back to your file with the notes that you have made, you know, and the discoveries that you have experienced working with different types of material that you can go back to and refer to help you to become more professional as you are sewing more and more clothes for your own wardrobe, or whether you are sewing and creating a collection to sell. Well, I hope that helped you. This is Tania Sutherland. It's all about finding your style, designing and sewing your style to look absolutely confident, as well as collecting all this information and knowledge and experience to perhaps turn this into a future fashion business